What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today, wherever you are in the world? I say welcome. Thank you for the support. All you JSB insiders, appreciate the support. We're growing. We're a growing community. We're only a few days away from the fights. So this is the first live stream of the day. It is Thursday, March 26th at 10:30 a.m. We have a lot to talk about. There's new fights that have been added to the books. I've been getting a lot of questions about the UK card. A lot of questions about the Vegas card. There's a lot of weird fights this weekend. I want to start this podcast. I want to start this live stream. You don't have to bet on every fight, okay? Just because the book is offering it, and this is a message that I talk about a lot, you don't have to bet on every fight. If you don't like the odds, if you don't like the matchmaking, if you don't know the fighters, you don't have to bet on every fight, man. Sometimes the best bet is the ones we don't make. Remember that. All good? All right, as we're tapping in, like this video. Let me know how you're doing. Shout out to Rehan Staten. I did, we talked about him yesterday on the live stream. That video is up on the YouTube channel. He is a JSB insider. This man, university, in college, took $10,000 of his winnings in our group and donated it to a college staffer, a gentleman who's been on campus for over a decade or so. He caught the whole thing on video. He sent it to me, and that's up on the channel. That is our last upload. The upload before that is our Stats Don't Lie prediction and breakdown and analysis of Seb Fundora versus Keith Thurman. And I'm probably going to get to one or two more of those. I'm working on a Kevin Newman, Elijah Garcia upload. And I want to talk about the Ali Act, the Ali Act revival real quick. I'm gonna just so you guys understand. I'm gonna just sum it up in a nutshell, just so you guys know. Because it's important that, this isn't just a betting show. We don't just this is a boxing community. This is major news. I just want to let everybody know, in a nutshell, this is not good for our sport. The Ali Revival Act has made its way through the Senate. This is a bill that is being pushed by Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh. It still needs to get signed by the president. This bill removes fighters' rights. Everything that makes the sport great. One of the best things about our sport, from a fighter's perspective, is the ability to negotiate, the ability to say, hey, I'm from the East Coast. I'm a New York fighter. I want to fight at the Garden. I don't want to go out west to fight. Or I've been in the game 10 years. This is my purse. This is my worth. This is what I want to fight for. And if I don't have a fight that is paying me this much, I'm not going to fight. I don't want to fight that opponent. That opponent's That opponent's a prospect. I want a contender. I want to fight for belts. So these are the negotiations that the Ali Revival Act is trying to remove from the fighter and put in the hands of the promoter. So this is not good for the sport. It's not good for fighters. This is what Dana is trying to do with Zuffa, so he could create an environment, an ecosystem similar to the UFC, in which all of his fighters have no say where they're fighting, have no say what they're being paid, have no say in negotiations. Might be a little bit of negotiations, but by far not what it is now. And so that's what the Ali Revival Act is. It's being pushed by Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh. So moving forward, you boxing fans understand what this means. And it's going to be interesting. We know that Dana and Trump are friends. And it made its way through the Senate. And all it needs now, there's one other step. And then once Trump signs it, it's a thing. And all you guys have to know, evidence on why this isn't a good thing, look at the class action lawsuit that is public right now with 1,200 UFC fighters, all from the past and current, winning. I think 370 million, almost $500 million lawsuit, all around fighter pay. So if that's not a sign that this isn't good, I don't know what is. I just wanted to start there because at least 5 of you guys on Instagram DM me about this, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk about it. Other than that, let's get to work. Let me know how you're doing. Now you guys know what the Ali Revival Act is. Toya, The sneaky parlay sharp hitting the little sneaky 11-legger, little plus 1,000 action. Big Shadow in the house. The boys are popping in. Perth is what's up. Western Australia in the house. Alphonse, my guy. It's Alphonse. Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate your support, Al. All the feedback and the input that you put in the messages, man. Let's get after it. Any thoughts, Julius? I saw the tape. It's not that good. You're talking about Cesar Navarro's a plus 450. I don't know, man. We'll pull it up in a second. There's a lot of these sort of fights. There's a lot of these sort of fights where I guess this could be called a C-level weekend. You know what I mean? We're gonna make our money like we always do. We just have to be sure. I want to make sure the squad, we don't become a victim of circumstance. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? Circumstantially, there are a lot of fights. Not a lot of high-level fights, but there are a lot of fights. And because of that, it's created the circumstances for us to bet on a lot of these fights. Now, I think the secret for winning this weekend, the strategy for winning this weekend will probably be the fights that we avoid. Now, I've already given 6 tickets. In those 6 tickets, man, there's not a lot to work with. You guys do have my prop. You have a dog of the week in both the UFC and boxing. You have my mixed long parlay that has UFC and box. You know it's slim pickings when I'm doing a long parlay mixing UFC and boxing. I've never done that since we started this in August. This is the first week that I've had to take some UFC fights and sprinkle them into our boxing parlay to create a long parlay to add plus odds. If you're new to the channel, understand all the tickets I give the insiders, they're all plus money. Okay, that's important. All of our success week in and week out, these are plus money tickets. This is what we do here. Okay, this is a tough week. Because there's a lot of fights, it doesn't necessarily always equate to high-level action. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, I have my own systems that you guys have grown accustomed to. So what I'm trying to say is you don't always have to tell everything I do. You know, you're accustomed to getting dogs. You're accustomed to getting long parlays. You're accustomed to getting props. You're accustomed to getting method of victories. Now, my job gets hard when the level of fights aren't at a certain level. And I'm looking forward to this weekend, though, because I'm a competitor. It's definitely been challenging watching a lot of tape on a lot of guys that have kind of tested my admiration for the sport. There's a lot of guys where you're like, wow, man. You can see guys they have jobs. You know what I mean? They have this guy might be a construction worker, but he's a boxer. This guy might be a plumber, but he's a boxer. You could kind of tell at the domestic scene, this is what happens in the UK, which is fine. But you got to understand UK boxing. You can't look at it from a misguided comparison to American pay-per-view boxing. That's not what this is. They've been bare knuckle fighting in that part of the world way longer than America has been a country. So British boxing isn't always about world champion versus world champion. It is entertainment over there. These are boys who'd be fighting behind bars. These are guys who fist fight going to see the football, the soccer games on the trains. It's ingrained in their culture. So you got to understand, you got to be able to compartmentalize what that's worth, okay? Now, when we're doing film study on, Keith Thurman, and then you got to do a film study on Jerome Warburton, it's tough to not compare, because you know what I'm saying? Or last weekend when we had the UK card, and then right after the UK card, we had that American card, and you could just see the levels. 2 different products. Just, understand that. I love British boxing. I love British boxing for the story that it tells, for the history of what it is, why they're fighting. I like a guy who can't fight full time because there's no money in it, but he's still in a fight camp and he's still devoting just sheer passion for the love of the game to fight on fight night. I love that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that all fighters were able to fight full time. It's just not the case. So you got to respect any man, any woman who walks into the ring. And that's what we got this weekend. We got a lot of these things. Guys, look, Nathan Heaney versus Jerome Warburton. I told you guys about Nathan Heaney. He has a traveling like 2,000 people who come to all of us. It's like a soccer game when Heaney fights. So this is why you want to watch this fight. Watch the fight for the crowd. It's crazy when you watch a Nathan Heaney fight. So you have to understand this. Have you guys ever been to like an English Premier soccer game, like an Arsenal game or a Man City game? Have you ever been to a high level soccer game, an international friendly, or where there's like 80,000 fans? I saw Tottenham Hotspurs play Sydney FC in front of 100,000 people, and I finally understood British culture. You have to understand the British culture to be able to get excited about a Nathan Heaney versus Jerome Warburton fight. You know, it's not just the what you see on the box rec. So I had never seen a crowd of 80,000 people singing. This would have been 2016. I'm at Sydney FC. This is probably my third soccer game ever. Football game. I'll say football for the respect of the sport. And it's in Sydney, and they're playing a UK team called Tottenham. And the whole crowd is in Tottenham colors. And we're in Sydney. I'm with my British friends. I'm like, what the hell, dude? This is freaking crazy. And the whole crowd is singing a song, and they all know these words to these sort of songs. I look at my buddy Kieran, who I'm with. I'm like, bro, what are they singing? How do they know the words? They're like, oh, Tottenham's rival back in the UK, their rival squad that they play against, their head coach just got caught with a drunk driving ticket. So the whole crowd here is clowning them. And I go, what? I was like, they're playing in Australia though. They're like, yeah, I know, but this is what happens. And so it's kind of like stuff like that that you got to understand the culture to appreciate the boxing. You know what I mean? It's not always pay-per-view fights. The boys light up. The boys light up. Good morning, 4:30 p.m. in AZ. Johnny, bro, you like both Tejas? I do. I like Yenis Tejas and Yo-Yo Hernandez. Or no, Renee Giron Tejas. I do, guys. I've tried my best to find. This is a tough weekend, guys. The Pro Box card is tough, dude. You got Acosta versus Rios. You got a guy in Rios who likes to bang, but he's retired 3 different times. I don't understand why he's fighting. You got a kid at 27 years old in Acosta who kind of feels like he's learning on the job, who might not, some people question his power. Will he have the power to keep Ronnie Rios off of him? I think so. I don't like boxing's a very psychological sport. Dave Harley, I appreciate your support, brother. E-Money, let's go. We're going to be good this weekend, boys. We're going to find our victories. We are archaeologists. We are on an archaeological dig. It's our whole lives. We spend our whole lives breaking boxing down, and we don't have seasons, and there's fights every weekend. So when you look at it from that perspective, whatever your career is, whatever you do, take the segment of what we do here, and that's our lives, and we're archaeologists, and we're seeking out and searching and trying to find those fossils. Those fossils are our wins, and our wins happen weekly, and we're gonna be up this weekend. Thoughts on Ezra? He's learning on the job. He's getting better by fight. Yeah, so my issue with Ezra Taylor and Willie Hutchinson, it really comes down to levels, and it really comes down to competition. And at this stage of the game, Ezra Taylor being 31 years old with only 13 pro fights needs to be mentioned. It's a talking point for me. Ezra Taylor, his size, when you look at him on paper, when you see him on the scales, he looks great. I don't think he could crack, though. I question his punching power. You mix that with kind of the trajectory that Hutchinson is on, and Willie Hutchinson is by no means a perfect fighter, but he's one of those guys who's just crazy enough to win these sort of 50, 60, 40 fights. I think this is a 60-40 fight. I think Hutch is going to be up for it, and I like the odds on it. It's good money either way. There's nothing in Ezra Taylor's game, for me at least, that would take him as a dog. Not yet. If he goes out and beats Hutch, the next fight I'll have to recalibrate what I think. I don't see a guy in Ezra Taylor who has the experience, the power, or skills to be able to beat Hutchins at this stage of the game. Keith by knockout. I think Keith is getting knocked out, guys. I broke this down. I'm gonna bring up my Instagram to show you guys. And guys, I think the days of getting emotional about disagreeing are long gone, right? You know, we've grown this thing together since August. We've had some growing pains with disagreements and meltdowns and scandals. All that stuff's in the rear view. We don't have to agree. Use our community as a tool. You know what I'm saying? Use the sharps in our group and on the chat as a tool to ask questions, and then make your own sort of decisions on who you like and what you like. The idea that Retro and I disagree on the Keith and Seb fight, that's fine. You don't. We're doing it in an educated way. It was one of my goals with creating this platform, was to create a space for boxing fans, not just casual fans who like to watch pay-per-view events. I'm talking about boys like us, like the 65 people in this chat right now who watch all the fights. Create a space that we could do film study, we could break down the fights, we can put our prediction, we can win money, and we don't have to agree. It's not an echo chamber. Let me show you this thing I put up on my Instagram. And this is why. This is one of the reasons, not the only reason. If you guys rewatch the Brock Jarvis fight, you know what? I'm going to go Discord. I put it in our Discord too. When you rewatch that Brock Jarvis fight, Keith Thurman, everything that made Keith Thurman great a decade ago was his explosivity, his speed, his power, his athleticism. When you watch what he looked like against Brock Jarvis, who's a 126-pounder, who we know what happened. He got stopped in the third. In the first 90 seconds of that fight, Keith Thurman lunges in against Brock. Never really was a guy who throws his jab a lot. He would be able to get away with doing things unorthodox because he was quick and athletic. He tries to lunge in with Brock, and he gets countered. A pretty heavy counter. His legs wobble. No one talks about it. I filmed it. I'm going to play it for you. And then he engages in the clinch. And if Brock had a little bit higher of a fight IQ, he would have separated and created space. You can see, what my point is, Keith's legs are not what they used to be. It's Keith's reaction time at 37. He'll be 38 in November. No man at 37 has the same reaction time as they did at 27. The difference is the man at 37, the average man, isn't getting in a ring with a 6'6" man in his prime who's an aggressive southpaw puncher, who's a volume guy, who's mean. You know what I'm saying? Who's getting better with each fight. The more I watch Keith's tape, the more and I put my bet in early in the week. I have Seb knocking Keith out. I see it happening more and more. Let me show you something. Okay, boys. Don't get salty. I know boys are getting salty up in here. Okay. So if you're not in the Discord, it's a couple bucks a month. We're approaching 450 JSB insiders. The link is pinned here in the chat. You can either enter on YouTube or Patreon. You get all my slips, but disregard my picks. It's this. It's the community. On the left, you got, betting slips, NBA, American football, hockey, soccer, baseball, tennis, NRL, AFL, racing, boxing, and MMA. So it's not just boxing. In each channel, you'll find some sharps. Let me show you something. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up a clip. I posted it in there right before the live, right here. Okay. So I'm gonna play it. Engaging in the clinch in round one with Brock Jarvis is wild to me. He was buzzed as well. I'm gonna remove my head and make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. It's gonna be about 10 seconds. This is 90 seconds into round one. All right, I'm going to pause there for the sake of getting flagged. So as long as I keep it choppy with no volume. You see how Thurman is circling away from Brock's backhand? Obviously Thurman is a really smart guy. He's circling away. But while Keith is doing that, what he's doing is he's trying to set up his lunging right hand. Watch what happens. Backs Brock up. That. Right there. Right there. He used to be able to get away with that. And I'll replay it and I'll play it through. I'm going to play it through here. Watch Keith's legs and watch Keith's body language. This is 90 seconds in fighting Brock Jarvis. Look at his legs. Look at his legs. Now watch. Now watch. He's hurt. He's trying to recover. And now he engages. He grabs and holds on against Brock Jarvis. Circle. 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 Think about the punch he landed. This used to be his MO. Circle, so boom! When you are getting countered, this tells me, obviously, he's not going to fix overnight not using a jab. That's not going to happen. That's a tactical thing. This is a physical thing. This is a physical degradation. This is a loss of reflexes and a loss of speed and explosivity. Watch. Boom! We were ringside to that. Fourth row. We were fourth row to that. Everybody talks about the knockout, which ended up happening, which is true. But mate, that's what I mean. The legs, all the stuff, that juicy stuff that used to make. Now, granted, that's a small sample size to all you Keith fans. That's obviously a small sample size. But in boxing, I mean, that happened. That is an outcome of Keith's timing being off, his reflexes being a little bit shady, and his decision making, jumping in and you getting countered by Brock. What do you think Seb Fundora is going to do to that? And then when they're in the clinch as well. So I don't like it. I don't. That's a bad look. Let's see where the boys are. Yeah. So I am not. I didn't play that about his chin. As you know, you heard me talk about this the entire time. So not one time did I say that Keith is fragile. I was using that to show his reaction time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I answered your question. What's up, GK? Yeah, I'm not talking about Keith's chin, but over time, you guys know that if you're getting hit clean against Brock Jarvis, you get hit clean against Seb time and time again, it's not going to bode well for Keith. And then Keith's going to start questioning why he's there. What is he really doing? I don't like the way he's sounding in media too. I watched the interviews he put up on YSN. I don't believe him. I'm sorry. I don't believe him at all. I don't believe him. I don't know if he really wants to fight. So I trained. I mean, I didn't train. I had held pads and moved around with Sam. This would have been in 2022 when Sam came down here to fight. I always forget his name. Edgington at the time was the IBO champ, and he came down and fought one of Bondi Boxing's boys, and that's when I was managing Lynn Sandstrom. Sam Edgington's a great dude, man. This is a great Kona Walker versus Sam Edgington. Sam Edgington's a great dude, man. That dude picked up boxing as a 19-year-old to try to just be a journeyman, and he fucked around and became a fringe level world guy. Sam hasn't went over. Didn't Sam retire, Paulie? So I like this fight, man. I'm personally invested in that fight. PJ, what it do, nephew? Oh, those knockout odds improved, man. I wish I would have waited. I jumped the gun too early. I took Seb by knockout. I had to parlay the knockout to get plus money with the Moses knockout. But let's just say, just so you guys understand my style of wagering, let's say out of some miracle, Jermaine Franklin goes the distance with Moses, and my double gets dusted because I have Moses and Seb together by knockout. If somehow by miracle Moses doesn't get the stoppage, I'm then still re-betting and taking Seb by knockout. So you guys know that. That's kind of how I do it. For instance, also for all the newbies here, let's say I give you guys a 5-leg parlay. This actually happened 2 weeks ago. Let's say I give you a 5-leg parlay and the first leg loses. You don't have to ask me if I'm gonna redo it, because I'm going to do it. I don't look at that as chasing. A chase to me is when your bankroll is gone and you've lost everything and you're trying to make up for money lost. This is not a chase. This is strategy. Only if that first leg loses, I'm going right back in with these other 5. So if you see me repost a ticket and you're like, Johnny, I didn't see that ticket, that's a little bit of logic for you of how I kind of roll. And I should also mention, I'm a Keith Thurman fan, all right? If you're new to the by this time during fight week, we get a lot of newbies. We're floating between 70 and 90 right now. We've had a really good week, man. We've been averaging about 100 people on our lives. This is a channel of fight fans. We are not fans of fighters, okay? These people in the chat are fight fans. They are fans of boxing. So in order to win money on fights, you have to pick against one fighter, unless you're playing the draw. Just because we pick against a fighter does not mean we're haters, does not mean we don't like that fighter, just so you know. It's always around Thursday or Friday in the comments where I have to do, Johnny, you always pick these fighters. I go, what are you talking about? Somebody accused me of never picking, they try to always bring race into it. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? I definitely see Fundora winning in the favor, but it's cheeky bet like Keith. Dude, Keith odds are dope. I'm not an odds better though. I don't bet. I don't bet because of odds. You know what I mean? I use logic. An odds, an odds play. I get it. You know what? Maybe I'll do an odds play every week. It's a good idea, Retro. Unbeknownst to you, you gave me a good idea, and a lot of my best ideas come from you guys. By the way, you guys told me to start the Discord. You guys told me to start live streaming. So you just gave me a good idea. Johnny, what's your odds play of the week? My odds play of the week at plus 900 would probably be Terrell Gachet. Now, I have Yo-Yo winning that fight convincingly, but if somebody were like, what would be an odds play? Like a long shot single. Crazy. I mean, there's an argument, even though Terrell's 37 now, dude, world-class boxer. He knows how to operate in a ring. He's never been stopped. He's fighting a guy with under what? How many fights does Yo-Yo have now? 12? So if I could find a logical argument, in order for me to bet, even for it to be an odds play, I need a logical theory. I need a path to victory. I'm not just gonna here's some paints and just throw it on the wall. Let's see what sticks. That's not how we roll here. This is why we win, though. It's a secret to winning consistently, guys. The Betting Academy, baby. JSB Insiders, we up. What if Fundora gets hit time and time again? Keith, do you think he could? This is why we're watching GK. I think he can. I think Fundora can. No, Keith could crack, dude. This is why we're all tuning in, man. This is why we're all tuning in. I'm not going to sit here and say he could take it. I don't want to undermine Keith like that. But logically, when I'm looking at age, Keith's never been a one-punch guy. It's not like he was like a brutally feared knockout artist. His biggest wins were on points, and his biggest wins were close wins. He could have went 0-2 against DSG and Porter. He could have went 0-2, or at least 1-0-1. One of those fights could have easily been a draw. Both of those fights could have gone the other way. So the idea that all of a sudden he finds power in his hands in a new division against a giant, in a big division against a big puncher, I get it. You saw it. We saw it 4 years ago with Mendoza. But, it's a different Seb Fundora. I mean, it could happen. Anything could happen. It's a puncher's chance. I give Keith Thurman a punching chance. That's about it. That's about it, man. I don't like his legs. From what you just saw, guys, if you're lazy out there, this is for you. It'll only take you 7.5 minutes to watch the Brock Jarvis fight. Keith gets him out of there in the third round early. But rounds 1 and 2, just watch how Keith's moving. The legs do not look right to me. They didn't look right then. They don't look right now. In order to beat Seb Fundora, you're going to need your legs. Yeah, so I want to talk about Elijah Garcia. I'm going to bring these odds up. I just did tape on this, and I know you guys are going to get upset what I'm about to say here, but give me a second. No shade to Kevin Newman. I was asking all week. And I think I found my answer. Okay, so these are the current odds between Elijah Garcia and Kevin Newman. I want to give a shout out to my boy Skills. If you're in the Discord, you'll know who Skills is. He's one of our MMA sharps. He's a pro boxer, but he knows his shit on both sides of the game. We got a lot of guys who are pretty dual versed in MMA and boxing. We have a lot of pro fighters, a lot of coaches. Kevin Newman is one of Skill's friends, and I respect the hell out of Kevin Newman. And Kevin Newman's good, man. I want to start this by saying Kevin Newman is the more skilled fighter. I watched Newman's last fight. I've watched Elijah Garcia's whole career. I know what you get with Elijah. My question with Newman was like, at 32 years old, why hasn't he had a shot yet? Why hasn't he had his break? Why hasn't he broken through? The most media you hear about Kevin Newman is him being trained by Roy Jones Jr. 7-fight win streak, I think, something along those lines. He has the skills. He has the slickness. He has a good backhand. But where I feel that Kevin Newman falls short, I don't think he likes to get hit. I don't. And I don't think he has good composure in when it gets dirty. I think this is a great fight to live bet. I could see Kevin Newman winning early rounds, but I think it's going to be that pressure and pace and volume of Elijah Garcia. And Elijah Garcia might not be more skilled, but you know damn well he's determined and he doesn't mind being in a firefight. And I think at this level, that is going to be enough for Elijah to edge Kevin Newman. I just don't see the willingness to be in a dogfight for Newman. Can he win it cleanly? I don't think so. I don't think Elijah Garcia will let him do that. I don't think Newman is as skilled as a boxer in terms of ring IQ and generalship as Terrell Gausha. And Terrell Gausha will mix it up with you as well. Terrell Gausha beat Elijah. Didn't get the decision. He's your classic Sandor Martin to an extent. Fighting, we talked about this last night on our live, fighting as the B-side, losing real close decisions all the time, super skilled, no one really putting their hand up to fight either guy. So I think it's going to come down to composure, which I think Newman lacks. It was hard for me to put an exclamation on what in Kevin Newman's tape that I don't like, and that was that. That's what I wrote down. I just don't think that, when it gets dirty, he wants to be there. That's the composure of a fighter. We'll see. Can he prove me wrong? Of course. I can't read the future. I'm not a future teller. If Keith gets hurt, he'll hug dance or other. No, he's gonna get hurt. Seb's gonna hurt him, man. He's gonna get hurt. Those legs. This is a 12-rounder in a big time. I don't see Keith's legs being there, and it's not a conditioning thing. It's an age thing. Those legs, yeah, they say power is the last thing to go, but one of the first things to go is speed and reflexes. What controls the dance? Our legs. What gets us in the front door? Our legs. What gets us out the back door? Our legs. How's he going to do that? He doesn't jab. You think he's going to be able to come in naked with those looping shots? You think Seb Fundora hasn't trained for this his whole life? I think people really underrate how mean that dude is in there. Rhythm puncher, volume. He's going to be out punching him. You think Keith's going to punch with him? Keith is going to want to counter him and punch in between the shots. I could see Keith getting knocked out, guys. Nobody wants to see an old 37-year-old knocked out. I think I see Keith getting stopped, dude. I don't think he's surviving. Okay, Mendoza versus Tellez. Mendoza by knockout. Wow, that's a value play. I don't see that happening at all. But that's a crazy. Look how we just throw. Yeah, boxing's so fickle. You know what I mean? We just throw motherfuckers away after they lose once, boy. All of a sudden, Yanis Tellez loses basically a world title fight to Abbas Barral, who ended up getting elevated to become the world champion, and Barral just lost his title to Xander, and then Tellez is just washed. Tellez's shortcomings were his mismanagement of his energy system, his mismanagement of his cardio. I'm not going to lie, though, Pepino, if this was a 12-round fight, I would think about it a little bit more deeper on taking Mendoza. This is a 10-rounder. It's a 10-rounder. I think the adjustments Tellez made since pretty much him getting from the 6th round onwards, Abbas Barral beating that ass, dropped him late. That was a gas tank issue, though. That was an endurance issue. He came back since then, beat Kendo Castaneda. Mendoza just had like a 6-rounder in Mexico. Mendoza's what, 32 now? Never been stopped. Yeah, Mendoza's never been stopped either. Guys, there's a lot of fights this weekend, I think, that are going to go the distance. You could pretty much take that whole UK card, probably other than the Moses fight. All those fights are probably going to go the distance. Um, people think that it's a lock that Yo-Yo is just going to stop Gachet. I don't know, man. Gachet's never been stopped. So I like Yo-Yo on the money line there. We got time. I still have to give you guys a method of victory prop parlay. I've been thinking about it more and more, and I have to give you a safety net parlay. This is the first. This will be. We started the safety net parlay 4 weeks ago. We've hit every week. I'm struggling right now to find you guys a plus money safety parlay because there aren't a lot of safe fights, boy. There aren't. There aren't a lot of fights that the most comfortable fight I'm sitting on is Fundora to beat Keith. Other than that, hey Johnny, what an awesome bloke who donated 10,000. Thanks, mate. Mate, it made my whole day, man. Ozzy, I get emotional about this sort of thing because I don't do. You guys know my rhetoric here. You guys know the language I use. I never tell you guys to come here to get rich. I never tell you guys to come here to. If, we don't even talk about winning money. We talk about researching the game and getting our picks right. Whatever you want to do with that, that's on you. I always tell you guys if you're coming here to get rich, leave. I don't want degenerates here. This is a fan of the sport game. We love the sport of boxing. Our outcomes equal effort. One of our JSB insiders, shout out to Rehan Staten, did a video, and it's up on my YouTube channel. He won $10,000 over a few weeks in our Discord, and he donated it to somebody on campus. And we have it all captured on video. It'll bring you to tears, man. It's beautiful. What's up, Double Under? Appreciate you, man. Wherever you guys are tapping in from, we're approaching 40 minutes. We're floating between 75 and 95 people in this live. Just like it for me. That's all. The likes have been up this week, too. I told you guys, once we get past Sunday and Monday, you don't have to super chat me. Just like the video. And then if you really want to, become part of one of the fastest growing communities 100% on YouTube boxing, join our Discord. We got some savages in there. Yo-Yo's Coach Bermudez, the guy who coaches Yohan Lee, is a JSP insider. I did the tape on Newman. He's not the guy. He's not Elijah. Yeah, Mosby, man. When you watch Newman's tape, there's just something about it that I'd like to get your perspective on that too. Is it what I talked about? Do you think it's the composure by Newman? Like Elijah's going to be in his face. Elijah might lose the first few rounds, but I see him being a little bit too much mid to late rounds in typical Garcia fashion. God, dude, that Armando Resendez knockout, he was 20 years old, man. Be patient with Garcia. Not many, he's 22 now. I always talk about it. Not many 22-year-olds. Well, he fought Resendez when he was 20, maybe 19. Not many guys his age are fighting at the world level in any division, let alone at 160, now 168. Give him time, dude. It's the same thing you guys are doing to Fundora. You guys see him small, skinny, and young. People just throw him away because a couple close fights. But these kids are boxers, dude. These kids are married to the game. If anything, that's the admirable component. Like, I don't just look at how, what their outcomes of fights are. What matters to me is, like, I'm like living like a samurai. I like fighters who live like samurais, dude. 100% in it. Don't party, train year round, watch tape. That's Seb Fundora, dude. Like I talk about, man, educated, reads to himself. He just likes the idea of personal development. This guy is going in to fight Keith Thurman, but if you ask him, he's not fighting Keith Thurman. He's fighting himself. He wants to see if he could be a little bit better than on fight night than he was the fight before. That's the way a Seb Fundora thinks, and this is a microcosm of why I love boxing. Because what it is the ultimate sort of litmus test of personal development for yourself. If you're into leveling up, can I be better than I was before? Mates, how romantic. How romantic, dude. Thurman is only fighting Fundora because Thurman was supposed to fight Zoo. Fundora versus Thurman would have never happened otherwise. Yeah, bum. I don't think Keith wants this fight at all. He's acting like he does. If you guys saw that clip that PBC shared on their Instagram of Keith getting out the private jet, did you notice what he said? Just landed in Vegas, got a lot of content coming for you. I don't like what he said. Let me show you. I was shocked when I heard him say that. First thing he says, just landed in Vegas, got a lot of content coming for you. I'm like, okay. Do you think you'd ever hear Seb Fundora saying that? This one. I knew it would be on here. I knew it would be on here.
Hope you guys are excited, baby. We got a lot of good content coming your way for Saturday night boxing. Let's go. We just landed, baby. This is Las Vegas. It's fight week. I hope you guys are excited, baby. We got a lot of good content coming your way for Saturday night boxing.
I don't think he wants to be there, man. We have a lot of good content. What are you talking about, dude? What? We have a lot of good content coming your way for Saturday night. Like, what the hell? I'm not betting. If I was betting on Keith, that would worry me. Saggio. I got Saggio beating Alamud. I rate Saggio, man. I think Saggio's like a level below World. You know? He's Christian and Billy. Saggio's Christian and Billy's sparring partner. Right? We just saw Saggio fight. This is a bounce back fight for him. I have Ezra on my parlays. I think these fights go the distance. I do. I maybe we do a distance parlay. I think the only fight that doesn't go is the Moses fight. And I think that Heaney probably stops Warburton. Do you think Shannon's on? Yeah, he's fighting on the Pro Box card. Shout out to some of the boys. Shout out to Youngin on Instagram. I think Youngin is a JSB insider. He messaged me yesterday and said, hey, Shotgun Shannon's son got called up to open up the Pro Box card. I'm pretty sure. Co-headline? I thought he was opening. Is he co-headlining? 3D boxing picking Keith to knock out Fundora and he's confident. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, look, it's me and Gary. Dude, it's tough to do what Gary and I do, you know? Recent memory, though, if we're going to talk, like, Gary picked Nick Ball to beat Brandon. I picked Brandon. Gary picked Murder Zylev to beat Josh Kelly. I picked Josh Kelly. Gary, like, this would be, he picked Ryan Garcia to beat Barrios. I picked Barrios. So this is kind of one of those fights where it makes for good content. We don't always have to agree. So yeah, I think it's a better fight week when we're disagreeing on things. But I didn't. He's picking Keith to knock out Fundora. If it happens, mate, he's gonna look like a G. Hope maybe he's right, dude. Maybe he's right out this motherfucker. Maybe he's right, motherfucker. Yeah, I got Josh Holmes too, Dave. After doing that fight, like I said, the British fight tapes, pretty wild right now. I got Josh Holmes too, brother. Andre was curious of your thoughts on this potential matchup, Zayas versus Boots. Great fight. That'll be hands down Boots' toughest opponent. I like Xander a lot. Youngest, who's younger, him or Abdullah? Before Dullah won, Zayas was young. I think Zayas is 22 going on 23. Xander has a well-rounded game, man. Always in shape, stays in the gym, lives it. Another one of these young fighters that if you had a young son, you'd be like, follow that dude. Xander Zayas classic. Jerron Ennis, man. You know, Xander is a kid that we don't know his ceiling. And Jerron Ennis, I feel we don't know how good he is. And those are both compliments. Jerron Ennis is a freaking nightmare to deal with. You know, that he'll throw a hesitation step on you. He'll jab you up, angle, and throw a hesitation step like he's playing in the 90s NBA. But he does a lot of things unorthodox. You know, the fight against Stanionis really opened a lot of people's eyes. I think people really underestimate David Evanesian. I told you guys, Evanesian's a motherfucker, man. Evanesian's only losses were to Bud and Jerron and I think maybe one other. Those might be the only two fights he got stopped. And Ennis is so good. He's one of these guys. Every time he beats somebody, he's going to get hated on. This is boxing. The the kid he just fought, Usma Lima. Nobody wasn't a household name. People want to see Boots in big fights. This is his opportunity. This is a big fight. 154. It's an opportunity for him to take a champion's belt and stay claim to the throne that everybody in Philly already thinks that he's sitting on. Who would I take in that fight? I'm not quite sure yet, man. I'm not quite sure yet. You never want to underestimate a guy who's technically sound, who's young, who's undefeated, who's a world champion, who's like, this is all Xander I'm talking about. I wouldn't just throw. You'd be ill advised to just throw Xander away in this fight. I don't. If there's flaws in Duran's game, it'd be on defense. No one's made him pay for it, but technically he could get a little bit leaky. He could get a little bit too loose in there, I think, sometimes. So I don't think, and I want to see what's his chin like? How durable is Duran? I want to see Duran in a dogfight, dude. Duran needs a dogfight for his legacy, and I think he's going to get him. That'd be a great fight, him versus Xander. I mean, you're going to hate what I'm about to say. Who would you take, Brandon Adams or Duran? Brandon Adams, I mean, he's 36 now. No one wants to fight him. Brandon Adams is a whole dog, too. There's a lot of guys who don't have belts at 154 who not a lot of people want to fight. Like, maybe Duran... What, did that go official? I don't know. Hell yeah. I'll watch everything, Delgado. I'll watch everything. We have a football channel in our Discord, bro. If people in the Discord donate some, I'll be feeding a lot of kids in the streets of the Philippines. Nice, man. Donate. No. This isn't donating, bro. This was Rehan Staten winning off my picks and the picks in our Discord, winning off of our tickets, and then taking his winnings and donating. You know what I'm saying? So we're not, nobody in our Discord's asking anybody for money. Don't do that. Hutchinson versus Taylor going the distance to, yeah. You should debate 3. I have Paulie Malignaggi coming on my channel. I have Tommy Randone coming on my channel. I'm busy. He messaged me. I got to get back to him. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm gonna have time, dude. We're a day ahead. Like the thing is, I already booked in Paulie. I booked in Malignaggi a month ago, and Tommy. I usually bring Tommy on once a fortnight, once every 2 weeks. I think I might do. I'm supposed to do an MMA stream tonight too. So I have some same picks. They have different views on Fundora and Keith fight. Yeah, we're not going to agree on everything, right? That'd be boring. Life would be boring. Can't agree on everything, can we? Keith seems like he's just... Isn't that crazy? He said it out of his own mouth. We got some good content coming to you. That was insane to me. I think Sai says... So do I. I don't know who I would pick. I think it's so close. I don't know who I'd pick. I like both guys. I'm a fan of both guys. I like how they operate. They're very different in there, though. Very different styles. I want to see Duran. I want to see how he would handle puncher. I know, Xander's not the biggest of punchers. He's a great boxer, though. He's skilled, athletic, all around. He knows what he's doing there. He's a high-level operator, man. I mean, what if Xander, what if... we've never really even seen Duran stressed in there. Have we ever... Has he lost a round before? He dominated Stanionis. The Lima fight was a whitewash. I'd have to rewatch the... I think Evanescence was close with him for a little bit. And who's the kid? The kid from... he had the red shorts. It was that viral knockout. He was supposed to give Duran a hard time. It didn't. It wasn't the case. I always think Rohan Polanco. It wasn't Polanco. Can we see Izzy get the dub this weekend? Joe Pfeiffer, if he could stay on his feet. Piper's the game plan is going to be able to want to take him down. He's definitely we've seen Piper get Big Brother before though. He kind of already had his humbling moment. Will Izzy be able to do that? I don't know. Does Izzy still want to fight? Does he still think he look? MMA is a brutal, brutal sport, especially for former champions. There's a stat right now of like the current former champions who fight in the UFC, and they all have like 2, 3+ fight losing streaks. So it's one of these things. Once you make it to the top, we know the old cliche, it's harder to stay there. But once you get knocked off, what are your motivations with climbing back? That's why it's such a rare thing, why people put so much emphasis in when a fighter loses their belt and they can win it back. We've already seen Izzy do that before, didn't we? Didn't we see Izzy get dethroned and then he won it back against Pereira? I mean, what's he really doing? Does he really want to be a champion again? I don't know. I don't know these things. I've never been the biggest Izzy fan, by the way. I'm kind of cheering for him though. To quote Kiza, is it Kiza? To quote Kiza in our Discord, Alex Pereira is the combat sports GOAT. I'm taking Pereira in that fight. Zayas has good box skills, but does he have the power to back up Ennis? It's not. He does. It's the timing that he has, though. Zayas, I think, what I've seen him so far in his career, he kind of match and mirrors his opponents. He kind of blends with his opponents, and I want to see him blow someone out. Blow an opponent away. Ennis is special, man. He's special in a different way. It's shocking to me that he's not a superstar. You know what I mean? He's 30 now? Is he 30? 28, 29, 30? I thought by now Jaron Ennis would be a superstar. He has a city of Philly behind him. It took him a while to get a promotional company behind him. We saw his star get elevated a bit when he signed with Eddie. We saw Eddie, Brock, filled out that. Is it what's the arena in Philly? They filled it out multiple times. It's like, all right, we want to see Boots now in Vegas. I mean, I think they really. I don't know the politics behind what's happening with Virgil, but for both guys and Virgil, the same thing. The idea that these guys are Virgil just had a birthday today. He just turned 28. Never been a world champion at 28. Pretty wild. You know what I'm saying? Pretty wild. You thought that, and sometimes it takes time. And who knows? Maybe Virgil wins the title this year and then he stays undefeated for the next 5 years. But I don't know, man. With Virgil's style, such a fun style. We want to see that kid active. Boots, same thing. In a perfect world, we'd see those guys fight multiple times a year. Just hasn't happened yet. Chiropractor knockout, bronze bombers, freedom. Chiropractor knockout, bronze bomber. Is that spell check? Chisora knockout, yeah, okay. Yeah, Deontay Wilder does not want to be in there anymore either, brother. I agree. Mike from Melbourne, sub Johnny. Look forward to see how Moses breaks down Franklin. It's clear the fighters' interest in their health is not the priority in trying to change the Ali Act. Is Nick on with you later? I got to message him to see if he's going to be able to do it. I'll message him right now. It's 11:20. We'll see if he gets back to me. Do you think Moses will be 100% recovered from the torn bicep? I don't know, man. I don't know how severe it was. I know that there's a distal. So with our bicep, you got to flex on them, that one. So you could either tear it from here or you could tear it from the bone here. So I didn't see his medical records. This one here generally needs medically reattached. This is the one when it tears here, it goes up and it looks like that. And when it tears from here, it droops down. You see a lot of boxers tear it from here. A lot of MMA fighters, like think about Pitbull Cruz's bicep. It's like that. Somebody who just fought this past weekend, their bicep. They kept talking about it. So some, I mean, I wouldn't want to be fighting with a totally detached bicep. I would definitely get that shit reattached. But we've seen fighters fight on. There's somebody else as of recent. They kept bringing it up. Do you think Moses would be 100%? I can't find the lamb. My girl's trying to make lamb, like a lamb stew tonight. She's like, I can't find the lamb. I can't find the lamb chunks. I went to, you got to get it from the butcher. Talk to the butcher. If you want to get the best quality meats, don't just rely on whatever. We go to the butcher. If I'm buying steak, pork, lamb, even chicken thighs, I'm going to the butcher. And we're fortunate enough here in Sydney to have a South. If you wherever you are in the world, if you didn't know, if you guys like meat, South Africans. If you could find a South African butcher, boy, you in heaven. I'm a simple man. I don't need a lot in my life. I need a barbell. I need coffee beans to make my own coffee. I need a butcher. I need some sun. I don't need a lot. I'm playing the Hutch train versus Taylor not to go. Nice, Dave. What's up, Dave? They both can crack. I don't know, man. I I don't think Ezra could punch. I don't. I look when I watch Ezra fight. I don't think he can punch. He has a high knockout to win ratio. Yeah, we all get bad reads. Early stoppages. I like your stats though. I like. You know what? I like what you're doing here. I got Hutch at $1.53 on the money line, and I'm gonna put the only knockout prop I like that I'm playing so far. I mean, David might talk me into something. Well, who knows? We got about 48 hours. I got Moses by knockout. I got Seb Fundora by knockout. There's Kiza. Kiza, you converted me, brother. Wilder, yeah. Deontay don't want to be there, boy. War Chisora. What's up, C's? Still good. Izzy is on the no bet list. I always lose when I bet it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't you got this, man. You always have to ask yourself, what are these fighters? What are their motivations? What is Deontay's motivations? We know what Chisora's motivations are. Chisora still talks and acts like he's a 30-year-old fighter who's been looked over. He doesn't talk like a guy that this is his 50th fight. That says a lot, man. That guy's had like 4 careers. I think Chisora brutally stops Wilder. High interest. What's the deal? What's the word? That's the joint. That's the jam. Play it and play it again. That's the joint. That's the jam. Yeah, it is a great fight. Stylistically, it's a great fight. The contrast of styles, the contrast in personalities, where each one is in their career. Can Thurman turn back the clock? Can he have a renaissance? Can he rewrite his own legacy? Can he go from a what if, what could have been to a will be? Because if he beats some Seb Fundora, he becomes a 2-weight world champion. You then got to unify him. You throw him in unification fights. Who wouldn't sign up for a Keith Thurman World Unified Tour? We want to see that. I want to see that. I don't think we're gonna see it. I think Sep Thor is just gonna be too much, man. Boxing's a young man, dude. Combat sports, it's a young man sport, dude. Yeah, Duarte was the one. That's right. It's torn. That's why he tore it. Support your low, dude. 100. Jay Voorhees knows what time it is. Jay Voorhees knows what time it is. Yeah. So you guys know. Fun story. It's the second time that Fundora and Adesanya fight the same date. The first time was 2023 when Fundora lost Mendoza. No shit. That's a fun. These are the type of stats that I like, dude. Screenshot that, dude. So is anyone going to bet on this? This is like a modern history stat this day in combat sports. Guys, if one of you guys should start a page this day in combat sports. I think that's a good idea. It keep us in order. And then I'll help you grow. If you start like a channel or even just like a group this day in combat sports. You get organized, you see the historical fights, things, birthdays that have happened on specific days, and then we use that, we add that into our narrative. I think maybe somebody's already done that. How many rounds? I think under 10 and a half. Johnny, yeah. Shh. Yes, though. Is Benavidez Zerto worth it for a Vegas trip in your opinion? How far are you at? You know, if I lived back in the States, I would go 100%. You got to look at, the way, it's a great question. The way I look at value is historical significance. You just got to ask yourself, do you think either fighter is going to go down in history? Like decades from now, it's being spoken about? I think so. I think David Benavidez might be one of those guys. So with that in mind, we only have him for so long. Even though he's only, what, 27, 28 years old, maybe 10 pay-per-view fights left in his career. Maybe more. I don't know. But that's, even if it was 20, it's not a lot. So any chance he'd get, I'd go see him. Who do you think about Moses under 6.5? I like it, man. I like it. I think I don't want to. I got Moses just by knockout. No one talks about that fight. They only talk about him winning close decisions against Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, and they only talk about Seb getting one punch knocked out against Mendoza. Subject, anyone else big on Fundora by 6? Good odds on that. More I watch. I can't see. Old Thurman lasted 6. Anyone else knows? Houston, come on, baby. Hurricane. Hurricane. But you could call me Slurricane. Slurricane. Strong enough to spot an engine main. I'll give you $10 to whoever sings that. There's something leaky in that defense, man. I just don't know if it's Xander who has that sort of on his punches to be able to do it. You know who does, though? You know the fight I really want to see. You guys hate on me for it. I want to see Kelly versus Boots. I want to see Josh Kelly versus Boots. Dang. That, come on, stylistically, dude. Those two in the ring, man. What are we talking about? I love the artistic expression of the sport. Josh Kelly, Jerron Ennis, dude. Fucking two sort of reflex fighters. Both guys could punch, dude. How can one time win? I don't think he's winning, big homie. How can he win? His reflexes, somehow he's going to have to rewind the clock, rewire his central nervous system, rewire his brain, get his reflexes and timing back on point to what it used to be in like 2015 when he fought Ghost Guerrero, or when he fought Danny Swift Garcia in 2017. He's also going to need to get those legs back to what they used to be a decade ago, to where they have that spring in the step. Because it's not about going in and out. The predictability fades the older we get. The sort of intuitiveness of being a great counterboxer fades the older we get with time. That is what's all missing from Keith's game. You could see it in the 2 rounds against Brock. That stuff is the magic of what Keith was at his best. He got old. We get old. How does he win? Lands that big overhand. Like Keith will throw hooks when he's like running. Keith punches like he's a quarterback leading a receiver on a post route. You know what I mean? Like dropping to the right, your receiver's cutting across, and you lead the receiver. You throw the ball here when they're. Keith will throw punches like that. So maybe he tries to find that angle. He throws, guys. He does throw that similar punch that Mendoza landed on Seb. So that could happen. He has a puncher's chance. Can Xander take a boot? These are the questions. Toya, 11-leg parlay hitting Toya. Alexander, but Boots is one of them. I think he is. I like it. Boots is one of them ones, right? What's up, PJ? What's your take, Gomez versus Flynn? I took Michael Gomez versus Jordan Flynn. I have Gomez on a parlay. It's not a, this is another C level, club level Brit fight, guys. Don't. Sometimes are safe. Sometimes the best bets are the ones we don't make. Don't think you have to bet on every single fight. Thoughts on? Didn't we cover Daniel Lappin? Don't we like Daniel Lappin? Thirteen oh five knockouts. Ukrainian 6'6". Jeez. Lewis Edmondson. We need to see more. The Lewis Edmondson fight. We covered that fight at Wembley. Close fight. Could have won either way. Some people had it a draw. Whenever you're a 6'6" light heavyweight, I'll tune in. Close, but wrong. The Click wasn't E40. E40 was a member in the rap group The Click. Come on, man. Philly, the Illidale. Only thing I think Thurman Will is talking about, he's funny as hell. Yeah, he's good for the sport, man. Do I think a prime Keith beats Fundora? But a prime Keith Thurman never fights Fundora though. Because a prime Keith Thurman is at 147 pounds. They never fight. They don't fight each other. It never happens. It's tough for I as a coach, an athlete, it's hard. It's hard for me to bend logic. A prime Keith never was a junior middleweight. A prime Keith is a welterweight. So this is another thing, guys. His best years were at welterweight, and we lost his best years. He didn't have a prime. It's kind of unfortunate. I'm kind of cheering for him this weekend, but I'm not betting on him. It'd be an amazing story for him to knock out Seb. It'd be crazy for him. It would change his family's life. It would change his whole legacy from here on out. It would change everything for Keith. And I'm not saying he needs that. Hopefully, he made enough money. I don't know if he did. He wasn't the most active. Didn't seem like he liked to fight too much. I don't know. I hope he wins, kinda, but I'm not betting on him. My money is on Seb. This is what we do here, guys. We bet to win. We don't bet with our hearts. Of course, there's an emotional string that's attached to this. We remember watching Keith Thurman when he had fucking cornrows, long hair Keith. I got Hutch on the money line at $1.53. You know what, King? And somebody else asked about. I think it was David with the star logo. He likes Hutch, or he likes to fight not to go the distance. A lot of these mid-tier UK fights, like that, I want to see what happens on that undercard. Because I gave you guys a 50-50 parlay with all these 50-50 fights. The odds are like plus 1,400. If one of those gets burned, then who knows? We might roll the little dice for a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a chase. What do you think about the fight that just happened, Nestor? I just don't think he's at the level to fight real champions. Nestor Bravo, right? He'll get demolished. You got to move him properly. It's all about, with guys who their promoters feels that they could take this. Not all prospects could be contenders. You know what I mean? Not all contenders will be world titleists. Not all world titles become world champions. We just saw that with Mick Conlan. You know what I mean? This is a kid who was a medalist in the Olympics, who everybody thought was going to be a world champion, and just at the 0-2 in world title fights, just never got there. You get this every now and then. You get fighters who, have all this. Maybe we need a better word for hype, because over the last decade, the word hype has become sort of a negative thing. Promise. You get these fighters coming from the amateurs with so much promise, it doesn't always go their way. It's a brutal, brutal sport, man. Doesn't always go their way. There's a lot. Right now, fighters who had a lot, who are at the tail ends of their career who are just fighting on that extended promise that never were able to put it together. Mick Conlan was one of those guys. A lot of rumors are coming out that after, like, what I was told is that there was decisions made in Dublin. That's where the fight was. Was it Dublin, or was it that if Conlan wasn't going to knock out Walsh, they were going to, they were kind of going to tell him to move on. So that's conspiracy theory, though. Because I definitely thought Mick Conlan won that fight. You gonna jazz up a long parlay that covers the next 2 weeks? I'll do it for you, Big Pimpin'. That's a good idea. I'll do it for you. How does Seb take care of business Saturday night? So the keys to victory for Seb Fundora is going to be his 70 punches per round. He averages between 70 and punches per round versus Keith Thurman's 50 to 60 per round. So traditionally, a Seb Fundora fight, when he's successful, is going to be volume and pace. He's also going to start things off with that jab. I like the adjustment he made from Tim Tszyu 1 to Tim Tszyu 2. Tim Tszyu 1 took place in the phone booth. Tim Tszyu 2 took place at range. And he was catching him on the back end of those punches. So I also like Seb in the pocket, though. I think the punch that we're going to look out for, other than his straight punches, are in the pocket, that uppercut from Fundora. I think it's going to be an uppercut that's going to hurt. I think he's going to hurt him with the volume, and I think he's going to melt Thurman. I don't think Thurman's gas tank is going to be able to handle the pressure over a 12-round fight. I can see a mid to late round stoppage. Yeah. Liam Davis via decision. Those odds are betting the money line. I have to have a look, big homie. Yeah, play. Hurricane. You can call it slur. Yeah. E40 had the craziest flow. Come on. Before his last fight, he hasn't had a knockout in 10 years. I don't see him knocking Fundora out, plus the bad eating. He said he eat raw for 30 days. His body is already... Did you like... Yo, Mr. Reed, did you like what his body looked like with the PBC? What do you guys think of this? PBC just posted this. And I'm reading all the comments, and all the comments are glazing Keith saying he looks good. But I'm like, I don't know, man. You don't look good to me here. No, what am I talking about? Who posted it? Was it Premier PBC? I don't know, man. I'm about to... So this is Keith today. They're doing their media. I don't think he looks good, dude. He doesn't look like... I can't... He looks soft to me, man. His frame. He looks soft to me. He looks doughy. I don't know. That frame don't look good to me. Look at that. I don't know, man. He don't look good to me. He looks soft to me. I know he's still gonna weight cut. He's gonna, dehydrate himself. I don't know. I don't know, man. DJ, man, E40 in the click, too short and dangerous crew, Max Ray. Yes. Rolling with my motherfucking strap on the side of me. Can't fuck with the East Bay G's. Dude, come on, dude. Dude, Spice One, Brother Lynch Hung. Brother Lynch Hung is one of my favorite rap albums of all time. The whole Bay Area. People sleep on dude, dude, MC Hammer was from the Bay. People just forget. MC Hammer was the man. MC Hammer was like a mob boss in the Bay, too. People just judge MC Hammer based off of his pop track, his pop sound that they made millions off of. But MC Hammer, their story of that dude going in, murking dudes, just hoe-checking cats, deboing cats, taking dudes' bikes. MC Hammer is that dude. And just his genre wasn't this genre, but he was definitely a dude you didn't want to mess with in the Bay. Oaktown, baby. But dude, that the whole Menace to Society soundtrack was off the dude. The days the Menace Society soundtrack, but the Above the Rim soundtrack, in my opinion, was a little bit better than the Menace Society soundtrack. The Show, what you guys know about The Show? One of my all-time favorite soundtracks. The Show soundtrack is what put me onto uh, the Dove Shack. I'll ride with her. I'll slide with her. Flow some dogs from the LBC. Dude, summertime. And then I ended up 10 years later, I moved to Long Beach. Ha! I was like, oh, that's Kings Park. At Kings Park in the LBC. That's where you find me, chilling with my homies and my friends. We got the Coke in hand. We got the 5-footers and the twins. We got Warren G and the DOGs. All come around. They don't know, but the West Coast, psh, let's go. But being from Ohio, man, you know, Bone Thugs. Being from Northeast Ohio, come on now, Bone Thugs is my church. And Killer Army. Killer Army was a sector of Wu-Tang too. It's Killer Army. We the last Armageddon. Prepare yourself now for the 6-man wetting in the streets. What about Josh Holmes? Would you say makes him your dog of the week? Psst, dude, a little bit better than look at their resumes, look at the style of how they fight. Holmes just going to be a little bit crispier and cleaner with his techniques. And I don't like. I'm not happy about this fight though, PJ. I would like if you don't have action on this fight, don't bet it. This is a club love. This is like a we used to play pickup games at the church growing up basketball. We used to play pickup games at the church, and a lot of times, you would go to. I was a hooper, so I played ball all through school up until college, and then played baseball in college. But a lot of dudes who come to the church to play ball would just go to scrap to fight after, because then they would know so and so was there from school, and then they would scrap it out. This is like a church level fight. He's a yuck mouth. We used to listen to that yuck mouth, boy. You don't know nothing about yuck mouth. John McGanna. Can't believe how confident three. Yeah, guys, Gary has we all a bit crazy. Gary's, maybe he's right. Ask him about it. He loves Keith. I don't know, man. He does when he doesn't like a fighter, he'll let you know about it. Like he talks crazy about Xander too. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I don't know, man. He does have some wild takes. He had a wild take earlier in the week about Xander that was crazy to me. That he, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm worried Keith might headbutt Fundora. The elbows, dude. Those elbows are sharp. That one. That one. DJ with the super chat, man. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Paying them dues, baby. Keeping it coming. Let's go. I think Keith's going to walk into some shit and get dropped. Me too. His body, he looks soft here. We love this. He looks soft here. We love nostalgia, boy. Don't we? Part of me does want to see a Keith Thurman unified world tour. Let's watch this though. I don't like what his body looks like. I don't know. Like his conditioning doesn't look good. You'd think you'd be like you should. I have a fucking. His conditioning does not look good. He looks soft to me. Even he don't look confident to me, man. Maybe I'm reading in too much. I put my bet in way before this anyway. Let's look at the Tower Ring Inferno. This dude is all bone. Look how long he is, dude. This cat is so long. 6'6" out here. It was sharp. Just uh, 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 uh. Guys got me sweating. I Fundora the money, but I believe he gets Keith out of there between 8 and 10 with some body rips. Yeah, man. I can see it too. This is a kid who's a samurai. This is a kid, like, they built a compound for him. He eats, sleeps, breathes boxing, dude. He's like if you could ever be a nerd a bookworm about boxing. This is a bookworm. This is a modern day bookworm of boxing in all the best ways. These are all the best ways to be. The boy Skeezy, don't sleep. Dude, the chat is educated. And you know what? DJ Skeezy's from Western Australia. All the boys, what you know about that Spice One? Come on, baby. Let's go. We out here. We in these streets. Did he? He became a boxing promoter? Big fan. Big fan. Yeah, people used to clown because MC Hammer used to dance. Shit, that boy gets scrapped too, boy. I've seen videos like there's old footage of MC Hammer throwing hands. Like MC Hammer got dogs in his hands, like bulldogging dudes. Don't get all that dancing. Don't be fooled by all that. Oh, the motherfucker gets scrapped. The Chill soundtrack should have also put you on a book. Yeah, but I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. So what put me on the Bone Thugs was East 1999. Think about back in the day when he was 89, little brother on the ground. Think about that one time. Cleveland is the city where I come from. When I heard the bird occur, I said, oh my lord. Laying on the curb, and then twice they're blended to the house. And what about Loningdale? Damn, she gonna whack the fool. Out of the 2C2 she do. What about Wally? He lost his cool. Sipping on murder. Sipping on Foster Home. Come on, dude. What set you claim? What's up you playing? Yeah, he's skinny, man. That whip action punch. We'll see, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Barium's in the house. I've been on for almost an hour and a half, guys. There's between 70 and 90 of you crazy savages, boxing heads in here. I appreciate everybody in here. It is my Thursday morning at 11:51 a.m. My girl, she wasn't able to get the lamb at the butcher, so I'm about to go to the South Africans. I got to pick up some lamb to do a stew, and I'll be seeing you guys soon.